Bonus round day 2, letting the car warm up. We got Troy's new tune on from RK, and Sam is, I think, maybe gonna pull us from a bumper off, just to try to prevent any overheating issues. But there's way less people here than I've ever seen here, which in my mind is a good thing. It's more track time, it's more fluctuation, and maybe if there's less people on the grid, they'll let us maybe ball a little bit harder on, like, I really want to drift the grid of the intermediate, and I want to be able to link the last corner of the advanced course to the first corner. I think that'd be really sick to even get to try that. So I'm super hyped for today. Let's get it.
What you doing, Cory?
Setting up my camera, taking my dad for his first ride ever.
Bill, are you hyped?
No.
What happened?
I got a shredder tire.
Oh.
I got a little too greedy with the rubber.
Oh, nice.
That's what was flapping on the side of my fender.
Sick. Cory, yeah, that's not fun.
It's okay, it's a drift car.
See, I could never have that attitude.
Yo guys, what's up? So I just kind of wanted to take a little bit of the second half of this video and just kind of recap. So bonus round was awesome. I had a ton of fun. Sam shredded it. Troy did super well. I feel like I improved a lot, so I had a lot of fun. I definitely went into the weekend with a lot of high hopes with the new angle kit, trying the new tires, just tons of stuff, and everything turned out great. We didn't have any car issues other than busting up the fender a little bit, which it was my fault. I pushed a little bit too hard on rubber that wasn't there, and tried to initiate and just spun out and then dropped my front end while like full lock down under the dirt. And that's what caused my tire to come up and hit my fender. But that stuff doesn't really bother me. It definitely would have like a couple years ago, but it's a drift car. Stuff happens. But other than that, I think I had a really good time. I wanted to talk about the SLR setup, knowing that, you know, it was a fresh deal. Didn't really know fully what to expect. I didn't know how much would change or if I would even feel a change at all, but there was a change. The biggest thing I noticed was just how free, or let me think about this differently, with the caster adjustment that we were able to make with the new SLR kit, the self-steering was at an impressive rate. It just felt really, really solid. My glasses are fogging up. Everything felt really, really good. The first time I went out on the intermediate course, I just kind of like didn't know what to expect, and so I was just like, I'm just gonna push it same as I usually would, and the car instantly responded. It instantly reacted in a very smooth way. Nothing was jerky, nothing was bound up. The steering wheel felt really free, and I think that had a lot to do with not only the new setup, a little lower Ackerman, a little different caster adjustment, but also the sway bar issue. I think moving the sway bar mounts instead of being on the shock where they were like binding the front of the car up, we moved them down to the control arm where they can't really do that. I think that was a big thing. I think we were having that issue with the other angle kit. I just didn't know it. But now I know to always look for that in the future. So definitely if you widen your front track that much, definitely keep an eye out for just everything else working along with it. Just like when you lower certain cars, your axles get so angled that you just break axles. It happens pretty commonly when people just stance out cars. I mean, I know it's pretty common with like FRSs and BRZs, the new style, where people are lowering them and then going and drifting them, the rear axles just break, which is unfortunate. I don't know if that's super common, but I had two people this last weekend at Shawano tell me that that's why their car wasn't there. So it's definitely a bummer, and I'm sure they aren't like super cheap. So maybe a little bit of a tip that I just learned, so I might as well share with you guys as well. Another whole concept that I had in mind the entire time drifting was I wasn't out there drifting for fun. I mean, of course I was, because I love drifting. I was out there practicing for competition. So I wasn't trying to save my tires. I wasn't trying to make the set last, an extra couple runs or anything like that. I was going balls out, trying to play with the foot brake as much as possible to control my speed, to make a little bit more smoke, to try to keep wheel speed up throughout the whole track. That was one of the biggest things. It was really cool last drift event, not bonus round. There was a Pro 2 driver there who was moving up to Pro 1, and just being able to see him drive and how he carries wheel speed over the whole track, even in tight corners and stuff like that, it really kind of gave me a new perspective on what my goals were as a driver for competition. And now that I have that a little bit more clear, I'm really hyped on it. I was able to practice that all weekend. So obviously the title of this video was My Dad Gets His First Ride in the Drift Car. And that was something that was really cool. It took so long for me to convince him to go for a ride. I mean, this is I don't even remember, the third event, I think. The third event that we've been at, and most of them been 2 days, and we're drifting all the time. And I could never get him to ride in the car. So finally this weekend, thank you, Brian Pearl, he was somehow able to convince my dad into hopping in my car and going for a ride. So forever grateful for that. So obviously it was just like one short clip of him getting in, and then the first run, because my GoPro that I had mounted inside died, but I'm so glad I got the first run just after watching the video, because I know we talked a little bit before, which I didn't have in the video, and then during the run it was just quiet, and I was just doing my thing. I was so focused. I was trying to, you know, of course I wanted to make him happy and do a baller run, and it ended up being one of the best ones of the day. And I looked at him, and he was just straight faced, like his eyes were wide open. It was really cool to see afterwards. And after that, he's like, I was like, so what did you think? And he's like, that was way more intense than I thought it would be. And I kind of thought about it, and after watching videos, all the cars, you know, I mean, in drifting in general, I guess, on Shawano, it seems like they go so smooth. When you come up on the balcony, you come down by the wall and then drop down the roller coaster part. It looks like such a smooth motion, but when you're banging off limiter and, you know, just whipping the car, it's definitely a different feel inside. So I'm really glad he got to experience that, because the more that he knows and how the car feels, the fact that he was actually able to feel what the car is doing helps me too. So I'm not the only one trying to put input in setup and everything, which I think is important in any form of racing. You know, it's not just, oh, put some camber in it, put some caster in it, toe the rear square up. There's always adjustments that can be made depending on how fast the track is, what kind of corners, what are they, majority left hand, right hand, and that's the kind of stuff that I think hopefully can put us at the top level of competing. So I'm super hyped, and I'm glad my dad had fun. I hope you had fun just seeing that first little run that he got to go on. So to conclude all that together, just my ramble for the last however many minutes it was, thank you for supporting me in the YouTube channel, the YouTube dream. Just like, comment, subscribe. I cannot stress it enough how awesome it feels to see people subscribe, knowing that they want more. Drop some comments, let me know what you want to see more of. There's so many things that I want to do, I just don't know how to prioritize it. And if there's anything that you guys want to see, then I can move my list of things or videos to make around. There's always stuff that pops up that I'll film. And then just share on. If you think it's a video worth watching and someone else will like it, share it on Facebook or whatever. It just, the more people we can reach, the more videos I can make for you guys. I'm always going to put full effort into the videos. Doesn't matter if I'm just watching my videos when I get home or after I make them. And I know my dad will watch them, so it means a lot to me, and I thank you for making it this far. I'm going to try to keep pumping stuff out as much as possible, some quality content. Like I always say, there's always things in the works. I got a lot of big plans with the homies, with the car that's behind this car, and I'm stoked. So once again, like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.